What's it feel like, Grand Slam week?
There's a buzz about it. There's an excitement, but it's very much contained. We believe that we're going up against, one of the best teams in the world, and that we're going to have to be at our very, very best to get what we want from the weekend. So, there's excitement that we're obviously in the hunt for a big prize, but it's contained by the fact is that we got a huge game in front of us, and we need to be better than we were in all the games before this. So.
New experience this week for yourself and Wayne, but when you've got people like Gethin and Stephen in the coaching staff and Neil, and also a lot of the senior players who've been through like this before, how much of a benefit is that?
Yeah, it's huge. There's 25 of this squad that have won big in this tournament, and so you're led by that. You're led by Al, who sets the tone very, very well about this. There's nobody who's been through this more than he has. So like I said, it's very much contained within what we're trying to do, and we all understand where we need to get to win this game.
Just from the weekend, any bumps and bruises, John? And obviously Thomas Williams hasn't featured since Ireland. Is he fit?
Yeah, he's fit. It's been great. We got a full bill of health. We got everybody fit and ready to be selected.
And in the second row, Adam Beard had a rest after he's a bit banged up, Wayne said, after it being important for you in the Triple Crown. How do you balance that second row now with obviously Corey Hill's come in and you've the different types of players with Adam Beard? How do you balance that when you come to selection for that number 4 jersey?
Yeah, it's about how you want to start the game and how you want to finish it. Both of those have been excellent. The way they've run our line out. They both have certain strengths that fit how you want to start the game sometimes and how you want to finish it. And we're lucky that we have that balance.
And in terms of the line out, Jonathan, it's improved throughout the tournament. How good is that for you?
Oh, it's look, before this, we went in the autumn. We had 4 different callers, 3 different hookers. It was a process we wanted to go through to get to where we needed to be. Our lineup's okay. But we're still trying to get better. We're still trying to make sure that when we go in this game, that all the parts of this piece function very, very well, and the lineup's part of that.
And you haven't managed to beat France yet with that coaching staff. A couple of defeats last year. Jonathan, what have you learned from those games?
We've learned that France are an extremely physical team, extremely physical. The most physical team that we're going to come up and play against. For the biggest pack that we're going to come up and play against. They're bigger than South Africa. So we've learned that the collisions is going to be massive in this game. So yeah, when I keep on saying it, that to get we won at this game, we're going to have to be very clinical and at our very, very best.
But is there excitement to go to Paris knowing what's at stake?
Yeah, I think it is. There's obviously excitement. It's games don't come along like this very often. So there's excitement about that, and we're looking forward to going out there and having a crack at an extremely good team.
Thank you, Jonathan. All the best.
John, Simon here.
Hi, Simon.
Hi, mate. What, if anything, John, did you take out of the fact that England managed just about to beat France at the weekend? Were there any kind of glimmers there of any kind of fragility at all, without giving too much away, that you can work on?
No, I think what you find in all these games is it's the games have won and lost on such fine margins, and that was that. I thought England were physical as we expected them to be. But France are still incredibly dangerous, and you can argue a couple of decisions and they would have won that game. So no, nothing has changed for our perception of France. It is what we expect.
When it comes down to that second row decision, which Gareth asked you about there with Beard or Hill, have you settled on that in your own mind? Is it your decision? Is it Wayne's decision?
Oh, look, when it comes to selection, you have your say, but it's what's best for the whole team. And there's 3 or 4 people who've got an opinion, and it's up to the big guy Wayne to settle on that at the end. So no, it's a good process, but it's all about what's best for the team.
Cheers, John. Good luck at the weekend.
Thanks, mate.
Hey, John, it's Beth from ITV. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Given the cauldron that is Welsh rugby in Wales, how pleased are you how far you've come in the Six Nations? Obviously, 1 game to go, but how would you kind of rate this tournament so far for you?
For the team?
Yeah, for the team and the staff.
Look, it's an incredible tournament. You just wish that there were fans there to witness it. But it's obviously been good so far for us. Those first 2 games were massive in terms of momentum and how you go in the tournament. And we've won those 2 games, and it's sort of grown from there. But as I say, it's never been a feeling of, oh, great, it's job done. It's always, we need to be better to beat the next team, and that's a feeling we have now.
Can you describe the amount of pressure going into this tournament, given the previous kind of campaign, not just in Six Nations, but autumn campaign? Because, we had all these questions fired at you from the press, fans. Can you describe what that was like for you and the staff?
Look, we segment that pretty well. The pressure is trying to do well in the tournament. That's it. Everything else that goes along with it outside is irrelevant, really. You can't control that, and that's how we saw it. It's we kept on saying all the way through the autumn what the autumn was, but nobody wanted to listen. So you got to take what comes with that. But this tournament was always about winning. We never talked about anything else than that. And like I say, thankfully we managed to get through those first 2 games to get us on our way.
Interesting that nobody wanted to listen. I'm guessing that's, when you have, when you're not winning, the obvious question from us is, why not? So was there an internal kind of belief that you would go in the right direction, which is obviously showing now?
I understand international rugby is what it, but we took the tournament to be something else. And we said, couldn't have shouted it any louder. This is about building depth. This is what it's about. And so we can't control what is said outside that, but we had belief within us that when we come to this tournament and we picked our best team available, that we'd be a very competitive team. And on top of that, the people who had the experience of playing in the autumn have been invaluable for us and allowed us to create momentum. So
perhaps we need to clear our ears out a little bit more. But listen, elite sport is on a knife edge, isn't it, really? Last year against the Six Nations, there was a decision in France's kind of favour. It's been a good tournament in terms of luck for Wales as well. But do you feel that it has to have a combination of performance and that little bit of luck the right way?
Look, international rugby is fine margins. And sometimes they go your way, sometimes they don't. But for us, I think we've created our own luck in terms of being in the position to take advantage of that. What was tough, the Ireland game, we go back to it and sending off, I think it turned it the other way. We had great momentum, we were playing well, and we lost a bit of momentum after the sending off. But it's credit to this group is that they'll always find a way to win in these big games, and they've done that consistently. And to have a 6-day turnaround to play away against Scotland, who are on a high, there's no luck in going there and getting the result that we needed to get. So it's a huge amount of belief in the team, and that's been massive for us.
Listen, I hope you win on a Saturday, and a little bit of told you so, isn't it? But listen, good luck.
Maybe not told you so.
Hi, John. Will here. How's it going?
Hi, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very good. Just continuing on that theme of how things have improved since the Autumn Nations Cup. Can you talk to us a bit about the sort of tactical, technical things that you might have tweaked, having learned what you learned from that campaign?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Okay. In terms of turning things around a bit, in terms of the results and stuff like that, how vital has the senior players been? Someone like Ken, I'm thinking about, who wasn't part of the autumn and was Wayne's captain at the Scarlets. I mean, such an influential guy he is.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, they're massive. The characters, him, Foxy, you know, they've been huge in terms of what they brought to the group. You know, the experiences that they've had and been through. It's, you know, when you got a team meeting and one of those stands up and says something, you listen. And you know, based on the fact that they've been there, they've done it, they've experienced all that, and that's worth its weight in gold. And there's 4 or 5 characters in this group who are massive in driving the standards and the belief.
Just lastly, obviously, those senior players we're talking about have continually delivered for a long time now, haven't they? So what do you think the secret is to that this core group have done so well for so long and delivered so many trophies?
I think it's belief. I think it's something you can't coach. Is that the belief that you're capable of going out there and doing it. And like I say, when people speak and when young people hear, they immediately believe. And that's massive in sport, you know, especially in these games which are so tight, which are balanced on a knife edge. And sometimes that belief that goes from your core group is the deciding factor.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, Jonathan, it's Vinny.
Hi, mate.
Just on the selection between Adam and Corey, I just wonder, what are your thoughts then on what is best for the team? Because that level of competition for places is massive for you, isn't it?
Yes, it's brilliant. Look, for me, it's how we're going to go out and how we want to start the game, and like I said, how we're going to finish it. And there's 2 different people who fit that bill, but you're equally comfortable with either one of them starting the game. So, you know, as I said, we're very lucky to have 2 people who are as capable in running the line out, and they just provide something slightly different outside that. Not a lot, but just something slightly different, which bends your way to starting and coming off and playing a big chunk of the game.
When you look at the progression of the group as a whole, how difficult was it to stick with a philosophy after just those 3 wins in that first year?
No, not hard at all. I think for us, you know, with our philosophy, that's how this coaching group want to play, how we want to go about our work, and it helps then when you've got a consistency of selection. You know, and that's the big thing within that. It was like, you know, these are our philosophies. This is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to approach it. Nothing changes. It's just you got a group of people who you're not making 10 changes between each test. And like I say, you know, that was the philosophy going into autumn, and this was different.
Do you see that in the fact that at times, I suppose, you've made your own look, also 17 tries in 4 games as well? That shows you that things are clicking now.
Yeah, you know, after you play every game, there's always something that didn't quite work that you need to get better at, because the opposition you're playing the next week will exploit that if you don't. There's obviously some positives to what we're doing. You know, we've won 4 games. You don't do that by just having luck. So we understand that there's some real positives to our game, but you know, is it good enough to beat France? What we've done so far? You know, probably not. We need to be a lot better.
And with regard to France, is there that thought as well, after what happened against England, for them, that it's a case of facing a wounded animal, and that makes the difficulty of getting over the line for a Grand Slam even more difficult?
Look, it's difficult. Either way you look at it. Look, they still got a hell of a lot to play for, and you know, the DNA of their team doesn't change. You know, as I said, a very, very physical, competitive team that they're going to be, you know, hell bent on trying to beat us on the weekend.
Come on, good luck.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Hi, John. What's pleased you the most about the way this team has played over the last few weeks?
Well, there's lots of stuff. I think it's more about our mentality to dig out wins. You know, so we came from behind against Scotland when a lot of things were dead and buried. Against England, we went ahead. England came back, so it sort of kills your momentum, but we still managed to find a way to get out there and win. So it's more about the mentality of this group. I think is the most pleasing thing. And as I said, you know, the belief that they'll always find a way to get over the line, and that's the most positive thing for us, I think.
Thanks.
Hi, John. You got in here. Hello. Just wondering how exciting it is for you personally, a Grand Slam week. Wales had a few lean years over the years, including your playing days in the Six Nations.
Yeah.
To have a crack at a Grand Slam must be pretty exciting and give you a lot of pleasure as well, personally.
Oh, yeah, it's, you know, you don't get involved in these, you know, every Six Nations. You know, it's a massive occasion. It's a massive game, but for us, you know, it's probably something that, you know, as an individual, you look at it in a couple of weeks' time. It really does feel like, you know, this is business, and we need, I say, to improve to get what we want to. You know, I don't think anybody's here thinking, well, you know, the tournament's been great, you know, we're this or we're that. You don't get that impression. So I think any sort of thoughts about how it is, what you know, being involved in this will take place maybe 3-4 weeks later, I think.